Well, hey, how y'all doing out there today on this Saturday? Listen, as all of y'all should know by now, my number one pet peeve in America, as well as across the world, is unnecessary and unwanted racism. It's 2018, y'all, and both sides need to take a break because your arguments are tiresome, they're bothersome, and people like me and millions, just literally tens of millions of Americans are tired of it because we're stuck in the middle. Uh, so I don't like that. And something else y'all should know about me is where I'll bring up problems and I'll bring up issues. I also bring up solutions and I also bring up the real deal and the real truth about a lot of the things we do, especially socially, especially because of the group thinking mentality started by Edward Bernays about a little over 100 years ago. Everything that you buy, think, do, you don't buy, think, or do because you think it. You're programmed to. You're conditioned to. And this little story I'm about to tell you and some of these statistics I'm about to tell you about here in West Virginia that I've experienced. So I just don't have the knowledge of racism in America. I have the experience of racism in America from the deep South to Ohio and a little bit out west. So wisdom and knowledge and experience equal wisdom. So I hope you take some of this wisdom and take it to heart because you're being played. You're being taught to hate things you don't even know why you're hating. We're killing each other. And the whole time, the real enemy, the New World Order bought out federal government is doing this to you. And whether they're white or black, it don't matter. They're rich and we're not. And so we always leave the culture and the class part of this out of this. We always look at skin color. And we never think about the fact that we're poor and they're rich and we're not needed anymore. So to keep them in power, we got to fight each other. And that's the game, y'all. That's the game that's played. So you look at my title and it's like I'm asking West Virginians, why are you racist? Well, some of y'all may think this is funny or whatever, but I don't see how West Virginians can be racist because you ain't got no black folks. I'm from the deep South. I'm down there where it's 50-50 easy, but some places it's a little bit more, some places it's a little bit less. Most of us are poor down south. So we get along at the country level. We ain't got a lot of big cities. Everything ain't Atlanta and Jacksonville and nothing's like Florida. Pretty much small rural towns, a few big towns, but people got to coexist. We've been demonized for 150 years of being a bad guy, and yet look where all the black folks live. They live down south. And yeah, there's good pockets of racism and haters, but a lot of people have learned to just coexist. They may not like the other person. They may have their unfounded reasons for not liking another person or hating somebody or thinking they're better, but we still walk by each other and say, good morning, how you doing? We can eat at a table with people. We can work with people of all different races down south. So like I said, this is my experience. You can't take away my life experience. As y'all know, I went up to Ohio for a little while to be with my Karen Sue, and I was up there for a year, and I never seen racism like that, because guess what? It was the black folks hating the black folks, and every kind of white person was a different, you were either a Polish white person, or you were a Czechoslovakian white person, or you was an Italian white person. It was all white, something, but everybody had the American flag. I saw that, and everybody considered themselves to be an American citizen. So I saw where the unity was on the outside of the thought process. It hadn't sunk in that we're all in the same boat together. But then I get down here to West Virginia, and I'm not basing it on the month and a half that I spent in the regional county jail with people from Parkersburg, Clarksburg, Morgantown, and then a bunch of the small pocket towns around here, like Pennsburg, Harrisville, all these little small towns. All had people in this regional jail, and that's where I noticed when I got put it. Now I was in a misdemeanor pod with about 30 to 32 men at a time. And I literally mean it. There was only 3 black men in there, and only one of them was not from West Virginia, and the only one that actually acted like a black man, as far as I'm concerned. They all had names like Kirk and Adrian and Michael, and I didn't see no Deshaun or Damari or anybody in there like that. So it just seemed like white names, and they didn't talk like what I'm used to hearing. Like I said, I'm from the deep South. Black folks down there are cool. They got a way of talking and being, and so I'm just used to that. But also from my experience in Ohio, So, and seeing how there's some differences in there, some cultural differences and regional differences. But when I was in there, these guys, I pretty much I got along with one guy from Chicago really well. And matter of fact, he wound up being my cellmate because we got moved to an old man pie. But even in the misdemeanor pie, I saw the white guys with the ink. A lot of them been in and out because there's a lot of meth use in West Virginia, y'all. It's sad. It's sad. And most of them are in there for drug-related reasons. A lot of obstruction of police officers. But just the fact that it's a corporate jail system and they make money off these men, so they keep them in there. But like I said, I saw the ink. I saw the swastikas. I saw the lightning bolts. I saw the Aryan Brotherhood brands. Everything you're going to see in the jail. But normally you see that with the hardcore guys or the guy that's been down the road a lot. So I got to questioning, because that's who I am. I mean, because they would see, hey, here's the thing. I got a Confederate battle emblem on a skull on my right arm. It's a militia tattoo. Now, before anybody says, oh, Bill, you can't talk shit. You got a Confederate battle emblem. Well, it was for 9 guys that were in a militia group down south, and I happen to be honored to have worked with those men. And 3 of them were black, so I got 3 black men wearing this brand too that I trust with my life. So before you say anything about mine, but when these guys in this jail seen it, they're like, "Hey, you from Georgia and you from the South and you got the Confederate, you member of the Klan?" And they would open up the conversation. I didn't go around asking people a lot of stupid questions, but when they would come at me, I'd be like, "Are you crazy? The Klan's dead. I'm from the real South. We all get along." And then I would question them about, why are you a Nazi? Why are you a white nationalist? Why are you Aryan Brotherhood? And some of their ink would even be wrong. Backwards swastikas, Aryan brand done completely counterclockwise. A lot of details missing that would probably get you in trouble. Would probably get these boys in trouble in a real prison. But my biggest question was, why are y'all so down on black folks when, well, for one, ain't none around here, and that's got to be worried about. And the other thing is, you're not threatened. You're all the same kind of people. And I see you listening to the rap videos on the TV. You're emulating the black culture. You're pulling down your britches while you walk around. I got to see all y'all's damn underwear. What's up with that? So you're sitting there saying, well, I'm a Nazi. I'm an Aryan Brotherhood. I'm white nationalist, but you damn sure enjoying you some rap music. And you damn sure talk and act and use the lingo of the black man. So what's going on with you? And you don't know what, y'all? What y'all would think I'd get back some shit, don't you? You think I'd get back like, you damn, man, you're a traitor, you're a race traitor. It was like, nah. They'd be like, well, wow, man, since you said that, Bill, I ain't got no reason to hate nobody, do I? I spread that kind of knowledge around men, and so can you. So can any of us. Break the stereotype, break the lie when somebody comes up and asks you something like, hey, why you got a Confederate battle emblem? Or, hey, are you a racist? And you ain't got no reason to be none of that. Then you can change their mind. Y'all, there were several that were die-hard Nazis, and they were all about this Nazi movement and this fascism crap. And when I reminded them that the Nazis were our enemy in World War II, and that my granddaddy and their granddaddy was rolling around in their grave while they was doing the Zeke Howe and all that dumb shit, what was he doing it about? How many Jewish people were in West Virginia? How many black people are in West Virginia? The same thing with the white nationalists. I was like, well, you're so worried about the white race. Well, I ain't seen nothing but white people. So what the hell's going on with you? I mean, what you scared of? You live in about the whitest area you could live in. What you worried about? You know, you got to point out some things like, why are you hating? And that was the main thing I asked these young men and older men, by the way. There's all kind of age groups. Why are you hating? Why do you hate a certain group of people? They had no answer. And guess what? Most people in West Virginia seem to be honest. I don't see a lot of stealing, and a lot of people are honest. They're honest in a hardcore way. They do a lot of complying. They've been conditioned because of the energy companies for the last 150 years. But the hating on a group of people that ain't even in this state really amazed me. And when asked, they had no answer, and they wanted to change their ways. They saw that unity was the only way. When I spoke of brotherhood in the sense of you got to understand your brother, you don't got to like them, you don't got to go to church with them, you don't got to be like them, but we have to fight the same common enemy that we have, the enemy that has taken over our government, the enemy that has sold out your state. You're worried about the black man. What about the Canadian pipeliner? What about the Russian corporations that sell the steel for the pipelines? What about all the foreign people coming in here in your state and taking your resources and your women, by the way. I saw that. Anybody with money down there, any poor girl want to get away from a fracked out, oil drilled pipeline death culture and move away. So no, it wasn't a black man taking your riches. It wasn't a black man taking your money. It wasn't a black man taking your women. It's the big energy whores. That's your enemy. And who brought them there? The man you voted for. And let me tell you something else about being in that regional county jail with over 800 people. I maybe met 2 men total out of over 100 men that even thought Donald Trump was real. They don't like him there. That's what you hear on the news. That's what MSN tells you. Them people don't like that. They see now. They saw they were fooled again. But guess what? One thing I am going to say about West Virginians is you need to drink some concrete and harden up. You're going to have to pull your britches up. There ain't no leaders. These police ain't out there for you. This justice system has been bought out. It ain't out there for you. I know you can't stand up and talk about it. I know you can't stop the pipelines. I know you can't stop the fracking because you've been told you can't. Well, I'm going to tell you can. I know they beat y'all down. I know they murdered y'all. The U.S. military has murdered white West Virginians. I don't see where the black man came down there and murdered no white West Virginians. I see where the federal government did. Shot your women and children in tents because you wanted money for payment. You didn't want coal miner company notes to buy your food. You didn't want to be a slave to the coal companies. Every time you stand up, they shoot you down. Well, welcome to the black man's life. That's what's happened to the black man. Every time he stands up, he gets shot down. Let's think about that for a minute. Let's think about 1968 and around that time period where poor Appalachian whites, Chicago gangsters, and Puerto Rican people in Chicago, the gangsters, all got together to fight police brutality. They all united. Black, white, and Puerto Rican. It's the original Rainbow Coalition. It didn't have nothing to do with gay rights. It had to do with battling back brutality from the police, the common enemy. So I'm telling West Virginia people and black people both, y'all been fooled into this shit. And you're going to have to snap out of it yourself. You're going to have to drop some shit. I had plenty of talks with the black men in there as well, and I would hear about this and that, the talking points, reparations to the white people. It's always white people. And I'm like, well, if white people are keeping you down, are you talking about the white people in the government? Or here, I'm white and I'm listening to you. And I ain't hearing you. Because I don't hear you because it ain't real. It's talking points. You know what happens when you start talking about being owed something? That's when you sit on the corner with a bottle of liquor right in front of the liquor store and just get drunk and bitch. You don't do nothing about it because nothing can be done. We can only take today. We can only take today and look at our brother and say, that's my brother. He's been murdered too. He's been shot down too. He's brokered in hell too. He's a poor man too, but he's an honest man. He wants something for his family. He wants something for his tribe. He wants to be more than what he was told he could be. That's all of us, y'all. I've seen it with the poor whites. I've seen it with the poor blacks. And this is where we got to drop the bullshit. And I'm going to call it just that. It's bullshit. Because it's not true. It has no substance. It's a lie. We are all equal. We may not all look the same with these eyes, but go feel a man's soul. Go feel a sister's soul and tell me what color they are. You won't find no color in the soul. Just like you won't find any substance in the lie. And the lie is people in West Virginia are racist against black people for reasons that are lies. There's no reason to hate black people because there's no black people here. That's keeping you fooled. That's keeping you voting for a racist party like the GOP. And I'm just saying it like that because that's what they play on. That's what they do. That's not my opinion. There's one side of our two-party system that is racist, and the other side that is the racist. So there's the groups of people, the diverse, supposedly Democrats. Well, that's a bullshit party too because they're weak. They're the kind of people that will tell you to take a knee and bow your head in front of a government. No, that tells you that you need a government. That's the party that called you a minority. You ain't no fucking minority, and I'm tired of saying that. You are free men and women to be who you want to be in this country. But just because you're told you can't do something, well, how many times are you held back? Well, you're held back. So are these white West Virginians. And if these Nazis and white nationalists would get their head out of their ass, they'd realize that they're in the same boat with you. That the same enemy, that the same racist ideology promoted by the United States federal government in their indoctrination program called the federal school system is the real enemy. They keep us from being prosperous. They keep us from talking to each other. They keep us from moving forward in a good way. They politicize the environment, they politicize the climate, and they politicize social injustices as well as social lies. Like why have they made drugs a crime? Drugs are a social problem. Drinking, getting drunk, and staying drunk is a social problem. All these drug opiate crisis, that's a heroin epidemic, the meth epidemic. They're all social problems. They're not criminal problems. They're also funded and fueled by the United States federal government to keep us down and keep us hating. So if you can't see that, then you're just blind. I mean, and I ain't going to say it like that because that's like, pushing somebody. The thing is that you don't want to see it. Like I said, it's 2018. We come a long way. None of y'all want to count victories. None of y'all want to count the fact that 100 years ago, there were over 20 million card-carrying Klan members. And today, there's only 5,000 to 7,000. That's a victory in hate because that was true hate. That wasn't preservation of your race. That wasn't live and let live. That wasn't even separatist. Because anybody can be a separatist. It means you want to just be your own community. And that's the other thing. Why do you think they took us away from they killed the small communities, they killed the small towns where pockets of people could live like they wanted. And they got 87% of you living in cities, all mixed up, all diverse, all full of hate promoted on the TV by the United States federal government. So that's why you got all these murders. That's why you got all the muggings, the rapes, the killings. That's why the crime statistics get pushed out. I mean, just blown up. Because they put us all together and we were never meant to live like that. We were never meant to hate each other. That shit was taught to you. It was taught to you. You take two little kids that don't know nothing about hate, they'll play together all day. But wait till they go to school when they find out that they're different, or one finds out that they're a minority, or one finds out that they took this country by force and killed Indians and enslaved black people to do it. And they get this sense of privilege. That gets taught. But you know what? Poor kids that don't go to school or poor kids that got to hang around other poor kids, they ain't got that instilled in them because I ain't got it instilled in me. That's the only way I can sit here as a Southern white man and tell you that racism is a lie because I wasn't taught racism. We got to start today, you grandparents out there that are listening to me, and you parents out there for sure, listen to your grandparents. Things were really, really bad at one time, but today we got a chance. The only way to stop it in the future is to stop teaching it to our kids. You hear me? These little kids, these young adults, just speak it out. Because like I said, I was in a West Virginia regional county jail under false charges, worrying about my own stuff, and I could still ask a man why he hated. I could still ask a man why he felt he was being kept down. And also, I want to say something right here to the black folks about the corporate prison system. You are being used just like worthless, poor white people are being used, like disabled. And I say worthless, I mean worthless to the man, worthless to the tax system. When you can't no longer make any money, or you're a black man, you're going to be put in these regional county jails or these corporate prison systems. They're out there to make money off you since they couldn't make money off you no other way. They relied on your hate, on you being angry, on you wanting something that you didn't deserve and going out and taking it. They relied on that. They relied on you being human. They relied on you wanting something in this system that unless you make $45,000 a year as an individual, can't even begin to afford. So I get the way you was tricked. But here's the thing. When I said there was 3 men in that misdemeanor pod I was in West Virginia, well, let me tell you a little something. They took a bunch of us out, well, about 12 of us. That was just old guys, disabled, mentally ill. One had Parkinson's, 2 of them were like talk to their hands, mentally disabled. I mean, really, really bad people. But the ones that supposedly were 50 plus, and were misdemeanors or couldn't defend themselves, and they put us in our own little pod. As we was walking up there, it's one of these pop-up prisons, y'all, with the Bob Barker catalog and all the. I'll be talking about this corporate prison system soon. But the point I'm trying to make is when we was coming up the hall, I could look through the windows into other pods, and two big pods that were right across from each other. I guess they were felony pods. They were full of black men. And about 30 to 32 men can be in there, like I said. So that's at least 60 to 64 black men that I saw separated in a corporate prison system in Greenwood, I guess it's Greenwood, West Virginia, at the regional county jail. They keep them separated. They keep the white people separated, it seems like. They don't do a good job at keeping misdemeanor and felony people separated. I saw a boy with a misdemeanor just literally get beat down, looked like a raccoon. His ear was swole shut, and 3 broken ribs and 2 cracked ribs, all because they put him in a felony pod, and there's just different. That part they got right. But when I looked in there, whether there was white guys in there sleeping or something, there wasn't nothing but solid young black men up against that window looking back at me. So they're in there, and there are black folks in West Virginia. I'm not trying to say there's not, but it ain't. Listen, of all the states in the world, you're going to pick the black man to hate? Wow. That either shows how poor and ignorant you are and how scared you are about being the poorest man on the totem pole and worrying about some social status. That's where that comes from. When you realize that they hard-working brothers and sisters just like you, poor as a damn church mouse, just like you, that have been beaten down and murdered by the federal government, just like you, then you'll remember that we're all like each other. We're all in this boat together. You best be grabbing a goddamn oar and getting busy, because it's time, y'all. They're coming after us like y'all ain't going to believe. Look at the crap at the southern border. Look at all the things going on in the country. Now they ain't putting up stuff about the Russian probe and all these games. They're actually having to show some real news. Look at what 60 Minutes has been putting up lately. I've been surprised that they've even been putting out the half-truths that they've been putting out. And look at what we see from our brothers and sisters around the world and here in America. And I'm telling you, after a month and a half of coming out of a West Virginia regional county jail that covers several of their good-sized cities, it's a corporate-run prison system, and the racism in there is fake. It's fake because it has no foundation. West Virginia people have no reason to fear or think they're better than the black folks there, because everybody there is poor, everybody there is downtrodden, and everybody there is in the same boat. You all live around each other, the few that are there, so get with it. The Nazi group starting up in Parkersburg, good luck. You're just, you're like them Ohio guys, man. You got no reason to hate nobody, but you hate them anyway. You get in the whitest areas, and racism is in predominantly white areas. Wow. Go live in Atlanta. That's what I got to tell you. You from West Virginia or Ohio, and you think you're a racist, go live in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, you won't last long. Go live up there in Cleveland, Ohio. Go up there to O'Leary, Ohio. Go to Oberlin, Ohio. I tell you what, but you want to see free people of all colors getting together, go to places like Big Springs. Go to places where people gather, like-minded people, brothers and sisters like this tribe, that seek peace, that seek unity, that seek at times like this of the year, goodwill and peace towards all men and our planet. Realizing our planet is the thing they're hiding us from. Our planet is the reason why they promote racism and self-hate, while we're just looking at each other and looking at the ground and looking at things that, except for the planet. We're looking at everything but the sky that they're spraying. We're looking at everything but the fracking rig by your house or the pipeline that's busted in your backyard. We're not looking at the lesions on little children's skin or the cancer rate of people dying from the big oil lie from the government that is raping and murdering us all. Every fucking one of us are an enemy of the state, whether you believe it or not. There is no side. I'm on the side of government, on the side Republican or Democratic side. You're either on the side of your brothers and sisters of the human race, or you don't have a side. You're just going to float out in space like some idiot. And that's probably where you are now. You don't care because you live in fear. You live in fear of something you have no reason to fear at all. Because what you really should be scared of is what's behind your eyes. That's what you should be scared of. Your own self. That's who will get you. That's your boogeyman, is your brain. So use your brain to come out of this daze you're in. Quit looking at your brother as the enemy. Look at him as the ally that they are. Your brothers and sisters out there are the only allies we have, that you will ever have. They're the only true friends, that the person that helps you change a tire, the person that helped you fix your lawnmower, the person that you went over and helped paint their house. That's the world you live in. That's the world you better pay attention to. Because all around you, from what I've seen with my experience, my life experience, it's all lies. I ain't seen nowhere where nobody should be scared of nobody. But y'all are. You walk around in fear. The white man scared of the black man scared of the white man, and the government laughing their ass off because they're scared of you. They're scared of your unity. They're scared of your brotherhood. They're scared of you rediscovering yourself and finding the love inside of yourself. Not the like, the understanding, not the acceptance. That's what they're afraid you'll find. That's what they're afraid you'll find inside of you. They're afraid you will find you. Well, I'm going to show you by showing you me. And here's me being me and telling you, quit living in fear and quit with this damn racism. It ain't gonna go nowhere. Look, you ain't got to like a damn person, but you got to love them as your brother. And remember that when there's one last cup of water, will they share it with you, or will you fight over it and spill it? Because that's what's gonna happen. You get the sense in that. You can either share that cup of water or fight over it until you spill it. Nobody gets the water. But there ain't no real racism in America. There might be some haters and there's some blamers. Wow, we've been talking about this forever. Just leave them alone. They'll come around when you quit talking to them. But for you, the people I know out here, the ones that are my tribe, the one that wonder what goes on in other areas, that's wondering what's going on in our country or in your region, I'm telling you right here, for sure, in West Virginia, from a year and a half living here and a month and a half in their damn jail, the racism is pumped up. It's not real. You don't even got an enemy to hate except yourself. So think about that. Look, I tell this kind of stories and I tell y'all the truth out of love. I tell you out of respect. I don't want you walking around in ignorance. I don't want you walking around with baggage that you don't have to carry. The baggage of hate you're carrying because you were taught to hate it. You were told, you were taught to carry it and you were told to carry it. Drop it. It's not even your baggage. Love your brother. Love yourself. And we can all love this planet. Because this planet needs some love right now like y'all ain't never seen before. So you want to live or you want to die like you're going to die anyway. And I'm not talking about dying a physical death. I'm talking about dying in your soul. Because we're all souls and our souls want to connect so bad. But your stupid ass brain keeps you from doing it. So quit being stupid. I love y'all. Peace and don't live in fear.